Eric Mason stared through the viewport of the diplomatic shuttle as it approached the massive space station. The structure glowed with blue and silver lights against the backdrop of Alpha Centauri. His heart raced. After all the years of searching the stars for other life, humanity had finally received an answer. Nervous? Lisa Howard asked, adjusting her formal uniform beside him. Eric nodded. First humans to meet the Galactic Council. Hard not to be. The message had arrived 6 months ago, a signal from the edge of our solar system, translated into every major Earth language. The galaxy was full of life, organized under a council of 27 spacefaring species. They had been watching Earth for decades. Now they wanted to talk. The shuttle docked with a gentle bump. Eric and Lisa gathered their materials and stood at the airlock. They represented all of humanity in this moment. The doors opened with a hiss of equalizing pressure. 3 aliens waited for them. The tallest had blue skin and 4 arms. Another was short with gray scales and large yellow eyes. The third looked almost human except for its purple skin and lack of ears. "I am Zulvax of the Voxari," said the blue one. "These are representatives from the Tellurians and Mavashi. We welcome you to Council Station Alpha." Eric extended his hand, then awkwardly withdrew it when none of the aliens moved to shake it. "Ambassador Eric Mason of Earth. This is Senior Diplomat Lisa Howard. We're honored to represent humanity." The aliens led them through hallways filled with species of all shapes and sizes. Some floated rather than walked. Others moved on many legs. Eric tried not to stare. The council chamber was enormous. 27 raised platforms formed a circle, each holding representatives from member species. A smaller platform stood in the center. The humans will present their case from Then they reached Earth orbit. "This cannot be correct," Jarek said, staring at the sensor readings. "Scan again." The readings stayed the same. Earth's population had dropped by over 40% since the last census. Major cities showed minimal activity. Power usage was down by half. "Land near their primary governance center," Jarek ordered. The council ship touched down in what humans called Washington, D.C. The streets were strangely empty. Buildings stood intact but unused. Automated systems kept the infrastructure running, but few humans were visible. "Where did they go?" his assistant asked. "Did they die out?" "No," Jarek replied. "Something else happened here." A single human approached them. He wore the uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps and walked with calm confidence. "Welcome to Earth," the human said. "I am Daniel Wright, liaison officer. We weren't expecting a council visit." Jarek studied the human carefully. "Your monitoring buoys are malfunctioning. Where is your population?" Daniel smiled. "People move around. Some went to Mars, others to the moon. Some preferred the underwater cities. Would you like a tour?" "Your answers are evasive," Jarek said. "Council records show Earth should have 9 billion humans. We detect less than 6 billion life signs on your entire planet." "Perhaps your scanners need calibration," Daniel suggested. "Or perhaps humans have become better at living with less impact on our world." For 3 days, Jarek investigated. Each question was met with polite but empty answers. The humans showed him farms, cities, and factories, all operating but strangely underpopulated. Everything seemed normal, yet nothing felt right. On the 4th day, Jarek discovered something unusual. In a closed research facility, his scanners detected energy patterns that matched no known human technology. When he demanded access, he was politely refused. That night, as Jarek reviewed his findings in his ship, an alert sounded. Someone was boarding without authorization. He reached for his weapon, but stopped when he saw it was Daniel Wright. "You shouldn't be here," Jarek said. "Neither should you," Daniel replied. "But since we're both breaking rules, we might as well be honest with each other. What happened to Earth's missing population?" Daniel sat down uninvited. "What would you do if someone locked you in a cage and threw away the key? Would you sit quietly, or would you look for another way out?" "The humans have left the solar system," Jarek realized. "But that's impossible. The boys would have detected any ships." "Only the ships they were designed to detect," Daniel said. "Council species think in straight lines. Humans think around corners." Jarek's inner eyelids closed in alarm. "How long?" "The first ships left almost 40 years ago. We have colonies in 17 systems now. None in council space, of course. We respect boundaries." "This changes everything," Jarek said. "The council must be informed." "They already know," Daniel replied. "Or they will, very soon. Your report won't be the first to reach them." Jarek felt a chill. "What have you done?" Daniel smiled again, but there was no warmth in it. "Nothing yet. But the cage door is open, investigator. And humanity has remembered how to fly." When Jarek's ship left Earth the next day, he carried news that would shake the council to its core. Humanity had not been contained. They had escaped. And no one knew how far they had gone or what they had become during their years of silent preparation. Captain Frank Ellis stood on the bridge of the Pathfinder, watching as the planet came into view. It was a world the council had labeled uninhabitable, too cold, with a toxic atmosphere and extreme radiation. Yet humans had found a way. "Approaching New Eden," his navigator announced. "Colony signals are strong." Frank smiled. New Eden was humanity's third and largest colony outside the solar system. What the council deemed impossible, humans had made reality. "Take us in," he ordered. The Pathfinder descended through thick clouds. Below, a sprawling colony emerged. Massive domes protected fields of crops. Tall buildings housed thousands of settlers. Mining operations extracted valuable minerals from the mountains, all on a world the council had written off as worthless. Dr. Olivia Garcia met Frank at the landing pad. Wind whipped her coat as she greeted him. "Welcome back, Captain. How was the run?" "Smooth. No council ships detected. The quantum tunnels held perfectly." They walked to the colony's main complex. Through reinforced windows, Frank could see children playing in a park under artificial sunlight. The colony was thriving. "Your terraforming equipment arrived safely," Frank told her. "How soon until Phase 2 begins?" Olivia's eyes lit up with excitement. "We start next month. In 5 years, we'll be able to breathe the air outside. In 10, we'll have oceans." Frank nodded with approval. Humanity had learned to change worlds to suit their needs, rather than waiting for perfect planets like the council races did. It gave humans an edge. They could live where no one else wanted to go. Their meeting was interrupted by an urgent message. "Doctor, Captain, you're needed in command." Emergency signal from the Lurani sector. The Lurani were a peaceful race who had refused to join the council, preferring independence. Their territory bordered several human colonies, though they didn't yet know about their new neighbors. In the command center, a video played on the main screen. It showed Lurani ships being attacked by larger, heavily armed vessels. Krell warships, Frank identified them. The council's aggressive neighbors. Why are they attacking the Lurani? "Resources, most likely," said the intelligence officer. "The Lurani have rich worlds but weak defenses. The council never helps non-member races." Frank studied the tactical display. "How long until the Lurani homeworld falls?" "Hours, maybe less. They're being slaughtered." Frank made a decision that would change humanity's place in the galaxy. "Contact Earth Command. Request permission to intervene." Olivia looked shocked. "If we show ourselves, the council will know we've broken containment." "They already know," Frank replied. "Jarek's report reached them weeks ago. The Krell don't know about us yet. We have surprise on our side." Permission came within 30 minutes. 3 human battle cruisers, hidden in nearby systems, were ordered to assist the Lurani. Their orders: stop the Krell invasion, save as many Lurani as possible, and show the galaxy what humanity had become. Frank returned to the Pathfinder, now reconfigured for combat. As his ship lifted off, he addressed his crew. "Today, we stop hiding. Today, we show the stars what happens when you cage humans and expect them to stay put. The Lurani need our help, and we'll give it to them. Not because the Council says we can, but because it's right." The Pathfinder entered a quantum tunnel, followed by 2 other ships. They emerged near the Lurani homeworld, where a dozen Krell battleships were bombarding the planet. The Krell had never encountered humans before. They had no defense against quantum-based weapons or gravity disruption fields. The battle lasted less than 20 minutes. When it ended, 11 Krell ships were disabled or destroyed. The 12th fled to warn its empire. The Lurani were saved, watching in awe as their unknown saviors revealed themselves. On the Pathfinder's bridge, Frank opened communications with the Lurani leaders. "This is Captain Frank Ellis of Earth. We come in friendship and offer our help rebuilding what the Krell destroyed." The Lurani leader's translated voice was filled with wonder. "Earth, the exiled world. How is this possible?" Frank smiled. "Let's just say exile taught us some valuable lessons, and now we'd like to teach the galaxy a few lessons of our own." The news spread quickly. Humanity had not only escaped their solar system, they had developed technologies beyond what the Council possessed, and they had chosen to use that power to protect the weak. The age of human isolation was over. The Council chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives from 27 species shouted over each other as images of human ships battling the Krell played on the main screen. Zolvax, now the senior Voxari representative, called for order. "One at a time. This crisis affects us all." The Tellurian ambassador spoke first. "The humans have broken containment. They must be punished." "How?" asked another member. "Their technology clearly exceeds our expectations. Those ships appeared from nowhere and disappeared the same way." In the center of the chamber stood Ambassador Rebecca Martinez of Earth. Unlike the fearful diplomats who had represented humanity 50 years ago, she showed no sign of intimidation. "Earth did not break your rules," she stated calmly. "You ordered us not to enter Council space." "We didn't. You never said we couldn't go elsewhere." "A deception by technicality," Zolvax responded. "You knew the intent of the exile." Rebecca smiled. "Just as you knew the injustice of it. Humanity adapted to your punishment. We found paths you never imagined." The council members whispered among themselves. Many were disturbed by how easily humans had evaded their monitoring. Others were impressed by the technology displayed in the battle recordings. "You have 17 colonies," asked one member. 23 now," Rebecca corrected. "On worlds you deemed worthless. We've formed alliances with 12 non-council races, including the Lurani. Together, we call ourselves the Free Systems Alliance." The emergency meeting lasted for days. During that time, news arrived that made the human issue seem suddenly less important. The Krell, angered by their defeat, had launched attacks against 3 council worlds. Their fleets were larger than anyone had anticipated. General Peter Johnson arrived at the council station as Earth's military representative. He had been a junior officer when the exile began. Now he commanded humanity's defense forces. "The Krell are attacking along 6 fronts," he informed the council, pointing to a star map. "Your defenses won't hold. Their new weapons can penetrate your shields." "Why should we trust your assessment?" Zolvax asked. "Because we fought them before," Peter replied. "And because right now 3 human battle groups are positioning to defend your outer colonies. Whether you want our help or not, we're giving it." True to his word, when the Krell launched their main assault against the council colony of New Terrace, they found human ships waiting. The battle was recorded and transmitted throughout council space. Humans using gravity weapons crushed Krell ships. Quantum tunnels allowed Earth vessels to appear behind enemy lines. Council citizens watched in amazement as the exiles they had feared became their protectors. After the Krell retreated, leaving thousands of their ships destroyed, the Council had no choice but to formally acknowledge humanity's new status. "We propose an alliance," Rebecca told them. "Not membership in your council. We've moved beyond that. But mutual defense and trade. The Krell threat is bigger than any of us realized." "What terms do you demand?" Zolvax asked, his tone now respectful. "Recognition of human territory, access to council trade routes, and an admission that our exile was a mistake." The council members looked at each other. Finally, Zolvax nodded. "On behalf of the Galactic Council, I acknowledge that the judgment against Earth was made in error. Your species has proven itself to be not just capable, but vital to the security of all civilized worlds." As Rebecca signed the Alliance Treaty, she remembered Eric Mason and Lisa Howard, the first ambassadors who had returned to Earth with news of their exile. They hadn't lived to see this day, but their defiance had sparked the determination that led humanity to this moment. Outside the Council station, human and alien ships patrolled together. Already, officers from Council worlds were requesting training in human combat techniques. Scientists were eager to study quantum tunneling. Traders prepared to visit human colonies. 50 years of exile had ended not with humanity begging for acceptance, but with the galaxy recognizing they needed the very qualities that had once frightened them. Human unpredictability and aggression, properly channeled, had become the shield protecting billions of lives across the stars. 6 months after the Alliance was formed, the Krell launched their largest attack yet. Hundreds of battleships appeared near major trade routes. This was not a raid but a full invasion. The Krell meant to conquer the galaxy. Admiral Susan Taylor stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Defiance. Around her, a combined fleet of human and council ships prepared for battle. It was the largest fleet ever assembled, with vessels from 39 different species. "Krell forces approaching," her tactical officer reported. 500 ships in the first wave. Susan studied the tactical display. She had fought the Krell before, but never at this scale. All ships form up in quantum jump pattern. Remember your training. Council ships had been retrofitted with human communication systems. Their captains had learned human battle tactics. Still, many were nervous. They had never fought alongside the species they once feared. "Enemy in range," the weapons officer announced. Susan nodded. "Begin Phase 1. Half the human ships vanished, using quantum tunnels to appear behind the Krell formation. The enemy, caught between two forces, broke formation. Council ships fired their weapons, now enhanced with human targeting systems. Krell vessels exploded across space. But the Krell had prepared for this tactic. From their flagship, they released thousands of small drones that interfered with quantum tunneling. Several human ships became trapped mid-jump, their hulls twisted by the disrupted tunnels. "They've adapted to our technology," Susan realized. "Switch to gravity weapons. All ships fall back to defensive positions." The battle raged for hours. Both sides took heavy losses. The combined fleet destroyed 300 Krell ships, but many Council vessels were badly damaged. Human quantum technology wasn't working as expected. On a small attack ship at the edge of the battle, Lieutenant George Williams and his Special Forces team watched the Krell flagship. They had a different mission. "Ready for insertion," George told his team. "Remember, we need to capture their command center intact." Using stealth technology, their ship approached the massive Krell vessel undetected. Once alongside, they cut through the hull and entered. The team moved silently through the ship, avoiding Krell patrols. "Almost there," George whispered as they reached the command deck. "Prepare breach charges." The team burst into the Krell command center, quickly eliminating the guards. But what they found inside stopped them cold. The Krell commanders weren't controlling their ships. They were connected to strange machines, their eyes vacant. "They're being controlled," George realized as he examined the technology. "This isn't Krell design." His team's scientists studied the equipment. "These components don't match any known technology. It's like nothing we've ever seen." George connected to Admiral Taylor. "Admiral, you need to see this. The Krell aren't acting on their own. Something is controlling them." Susan received the images from George's team. She immediately ordered her science officers to analyze them. Their conclusion sent chills through the bridge. "It's machine intelligence," the chief scientist explained. "Ancient and advanced. These components are thousands of years old, but still functioning. We believe it's called the Void Collective, based on symbols in the circuitry." "Why would ancient machines want to control the Krell?" Susan asked. "The data suggests they're using the Krell to eliminate other organic life. It's a harvest pattern. They weaken civilizations through war, then collect the survivors." On the Krell flagship, George found more disturbing evidence. Records showed the Void Collective had been manipulating multiple species for centuries. Their ultimate goal was to eliminate organic life they deemed inefficient. "Admiral," he reported, "we found something else. The Void Collective was behind Earth's exile 50 years ago. They manipulated Council representatives to fear us because they recognized humanity as a threat to their plans." As the battle continued outside, George's team worked to disconnect the Krell commanders from the controlling machines. One by one, Krell ships began to stop fighting as their crews regained free will. Susan addressed the combined fleet. "All ships, cease fire on surrendering Krell vessels. We have a new enemy, one that has been manipulating us all from the shadows. The real war is just beginning." The day ended with an uneasy victory. The immediate Krell threat was contained, but a greater danger had been revealed. The galaxy faced an enemy older and more dangerous than anyone had imagined. And humanity, once exiled and forgotten, now stood at the center of the coming storm. 3 weeks after the battle, representatives from every known spacefaring race gathered on neutral ground. The meeting took place on a space station built by humans at the edge of former Krell territory. Council members sat alongside Free Alliance species and even Krell delegates, now free from the Void Collective's control. Scientist Ben Cooper displayed his findings on the main screen. He had spent years studying unusual patterns in council decisions and had finally connected them to void collective influence. "The evidence is clear," Ben explained, pointing to his data. "For at least 3 centuries, the collective has been placing agents throughout council space. They take the form of advisors, traders, even diplomats." He showed images of seemingly normal aliens from various species. "These aren't biological beings. They're advanced machines designed to look and act like members of your species." The room filled with shocked whispers. Many representatives began looking at their colleagues with suspicion. Most troubling, Ben continued, was their successful effort to isolate Earth. "This document proves that 3 key council members who voted for our exile were replaced by collective agents beforehand." Zulvax examined the evidence. Why target humans specifically? What made Earth such a threat? Ben changed the display to show human brain scans next to other species. "Our minds work differently. Humans are the only species whose thought patterns the collective cannot predict or control. Our creativity and adaptability make us immune to their influence. They feared what would happen if humans spread throughout the galaxy." Political officer Karen Mitchell stepped forward. She had been working behind the scenes for months, building support for major changes. "The council system has been compromised for centuries," she said. "We need a complete reformation, not just to fight the void collective, but to create something stronger and more just." Council hardliners objected immediately. The Tellurian representative rose in anger. "This is a human plot to take control. First exile, then alliance. Now you want to dismantle our entire system of governance." Karen remained calm. "The system that exiled us was corrupted by the very enemy we now face together. If we continue as before, the collective will find new ways to manipulate us. Division is what they want." For days, the debate continued. Old powers resisted change while newer voices called for reform. Some suggested abandoning the council entirely. Others wanted to maintain tradition. Finally, Karen presented a proposal: a new galactic charter, power based not on seniority or tradition, but on contribution. "Every species has something valuable to offer. Together, we are stronger than alone." Her plan reorganized galactic governance into specialized councils: military defense, scientific research, cultural exchange, economic development. Each area would be led by those most qualified, regardless of species. It was a radical departure from the old system. "And who would lead this new arrangement?" Zulvax asked. "Leadership would rotate," Karen explained. "No single species would dominate forever, but each council would be chaired by those who demonstrate the greatest expertise." The debate lasted another week. Old rivals found common ground in the face of the collective threat. Species that had never spoken directly now worked together on charter details. Even the freed Krell offered insights on defending against machine control. When the final vote came, the result surprised everyone. The new galactic charter passed with support from 83% of representatives. The old council was dissolved, replaced by the United Galactic Alliance. As Karen signed the charter on behalf of Earth, she felt the weight of history. 50 years ago, humans had been judged unworthy of the stars. Now they had helped reshape the entire galactic order. "What positions will humans hold in this new system?" a reporter asked her after the ceremony. Karen smiled. "The same as everyone else. We'll serve where our skills are needed." But everyone knew the truth. Human innovation had already made them leaders in military strategy, terraforming technology, and quantum physics. Under the new merit-based system, they would naturally rise to key positions. That evening, as representatives celebrated the historic agreement, Ben Cooper received an urgent message. His monitoring systems had detected unusual energy patterns from a distant region of space. The Void Collective was mobilizing its main force. The battle for the galaxy's future was about to begin. 100 years after Earth's exile, Admiral William Hayes stood on the bridge of the Unity, the largest starship ever built. Around him, officers from 20 different species worked at their stations. Beyond his viewport, 10,000 ships gathered, the combined might of the United Galactic Alliance. All fleet groups report ready, Admiral. His Tellurian second-in-command reported. William nodded. Begin final preparations for dimensional jump. For 5 years, the Alliance had fought the Void Collective across hundreds of star systems. The ancient machines had emerged from hiding, unleashing weapons that could destroy entire planets. But the Alliance had adapted, combining technologies from all member species into new defenses. Now they had located the Collective's home dimension, a pocket universe where the machine intelligence had hidden for thousands of years. After countless battles, the Alliance was ready to take the fight to the enemy's doorstep. In the strategy room, William addressed leaders from across the Alliance. This will be our most difficult battle. The Collective has existed for thousands of years. They've defeated countless civilizations, but none of those civilizations had what we have: unity in diversity. The plan was daring. Using modified human quantum tunneling technology, the fleet would create a massive dimensional gateway. Once open, Alliance forces would enter the Collective's domain and target its central processing cores. Remember, William continued, this enemy tried to keep us divided. They feared what would happen if we worked together. Today we proved their fears were justified. As preparations continued, William received an unexpected visitor. Zolvax, now ancient even by Voxari standards, had come aboard despite his age. He was the last surviving member of the original council that had exiled Earth. I wished to witness this moment, Zolvax told William. To see the completion of a circle that began with my own mistake. William offered the elderly alien a seat. The exile wasn't your fault. You were manipulated by the Collective. Perhaps, Zolvax replied. But we were also afraid. Your species moved so quickly, thought so differently. We feared what would happen if humans spread throughout the stars. He gestured at the diverse crew working together. We never imagined this outcome. What outcome did you expect? William asked. That you would become conquerors. Instead, you became leaders who uplift others. Zolvax's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. I was wrong about humanity. We all were. The countdown to dimensional jump continued. Scientists made final adjustments to the quantum gateway generators. Soldiers prepared for ground combat against machine defenders. Medical teams stood ready for casualties. William addressed the entire fleet. 100 years ago, humanity was judged unworthy of the stars. We were locked away, expected to live in isolation, while the galaxy continued without us. But that judgment overlooked the greatest human quality, our refusal to accept limitations. The massive quantum gateway began to form ahead of the fleet. Energy spiraled into a vortex leading to the Collective's dimension. We stand here today, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Not as a single species, but as a united galaxy. The Void Collective believed organic life was inferior to machines. Today we proved that life, in all its wonderful diversity, will always triumph over cold calculation. The gateway stabilized, creating a shimmering tunnel between dimensions. William gave the command, and the lead ships began to move forward. On Earth, crowds gathered in city centers to watch the battle feeds. Children who had grown up hearing stories about the exile now witnessed humanity leading the greatest fleet in history. In classrooms, teachers reminded their students how far they had come from being prisoners in their own solar system. As the Unity entered the gateway, William thought about all the steps that had led to this moment. The exile that forced humanity to innovate. The silent years of preparation. The first cautious expansion. The alliance with the Lurani. The discovery of the true enemy. The reformation of galactic governance. Each challenge had made humanity stronger. Each obstacle had forced them to adapt. What had been meant as punishment had become the forge that transformed humans into the leaders they were always capable of being. The Unity emerged into the Collective's dimension, followed by thousands of Alliance ships. Ahead lay the machine world, center of the intelligence that had manipulated galactic events for millennia. The final battle was about to begin. William gave the order, "All ships, advance, for Earth and for all free worlds." 100 years after being told they didn't belong among the stars, humanity led the galaxy into its greatest challenge. The exile had ended. The stars were now theirs to protect.